Good morning, everybody, and happy Friday. Welcome to Take a Break with me, Adam Walker. Me, Andrew Reid.
There we go.
And
that's 2 weeks we've had issues with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Last week you were comparing me to the size of a small... Never got the last word.
No, I can't remember what I was calling you now. I never insult you.
Yeah.
Chipmunk.
Right, we've got a guest. We're going to get straight into that. But
straight.
Have you got your phone? This is how I'm going to segue into our guest. Have you got... I don't know. Does this work? Tapping on his phone. Is it bringing anything up? Do you have an NFC?
No, it's underneath. It's underneath.
It's underneath. Have a look. Have a look. Have a look. Have a look. Have a look.
Complete my action using...
LinkedIn, ideally. Do you have LinkedIn on the phone?
No.
Well, it'll do the same thing. Oh, what does that say on your phone? So we've just tapped a phone for those listening against Andy's card. What's popped up on your phone?
My LinkedIn profile. How did that happen?
Magic.
It's magic.
Which is kind of related to our guest in a bit cleverer. A bit cleverer than what I've just done.
Whose guest?
Whose guest? Your guest?
My guest.
Yes.
Exactly. So just for people who don't know, that's Adam Walker, because I got my name mixed up.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's Andy Reid.
That's Andy Reid.
And
to my left, we have...
Me. Josh Verdon.
The Josh.
The Josh. Me. Oh, hello, me. We'll call you
Hello,
me.
it is me.
Hello, Josh
I think you
Verdon.
need one of these cards.
You do
They
indeed.
look very snazzy.
Do you like that?
Yeah.
Have you ever dabbled in NFC?
Yes.
I've seen, well, yes, but
Of
not
course you
NFC business cards.
No. So
No.
obviously, for those listening, I'm holding up a blank plastic card, NFC card. Got a chip in.
Yeah.
Hold about 500 kilobytes of data.
They do indeed.
But I've been like, we need to do something with this. So we've got an event on Saturday that we're doing. And I've made a poster, and it's like, tap here to follow us on Instagram. Tap here to sign up to our mailing list. Tap here to order our merch.
You've got
You're
merch.
just so clever.
I don't have merch, the client does.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, you'll find out why this links to today's episode, because Josh, tell us who you are, where you're from, what you do.
Yes, I'm Josh. I'm from Yuze. We're a fintech startup, and we do payments, POS, point of sale, and online ordering.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Do you like how I linked my intro to,
you know what,
to
Adam?
Josh today?
I did wonder where you were going with that,
Yeah.
and then I was like, you know what, that's actually really clever.
There's actually a card being tapped for, not payment, but
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, you've forward.
yeah, it's about a good
You're
3.
forward.
Solid 4. Yeah, so you're based in Darlington.
Yes.
The company is spelled Y-U-Z-E.
Yuze.
I love the name.
I know, it's a fact. Where did you get the name from?
It was. So I was obviously trying to come up with a name, and I was just trying to think of like things that you would do in hospitality. So
I don't think I've ever used in a hospitality.
Careful.
What have you just done, Adam? I've just used.
Don't soil the name of the company, Andy.
Sorry, I'll leave now. Bye.
But what I like about it is it's a big. I'm looking at his logo on his hoodie. It's a big block font in white on the hoodie. There's also a black version, and the other colour is black or white. I love it.
Sorry, you interrupted him. So
No,
looking for something.
you, sir, interrupted him.
I would never do that.
Carry on, Josh.
So yeah, we're trying to think of names, something like that, or like it's really hard now. Trying to think. Anyway,
Yeah.
It came from at the bar. If someone asked, "What do you want to drink?" we go, "Ask for the Yuze." So it came from that.
I've never asked that. Never said that neither.
You haven't been a regular at a pub then.
No, obviously not.
That's not true. I know that.
Yeah.
One in particular. And
Yeah, my own home bar.
Yeah.
I've been barred.
And you can't ask yourself for the Yuze.
No, I can't. I thought it was
So yeah, that's where it came from. But also, I think in Chinese it means a friend, or it
Andy's
means
Googling.
cloud.
Wow.
And it's a cloud-based system,
Okay. Yeah.
so it works quite well.
Yeah. So where does this system go? Let's delve into that quickly.
So anywhere in terms of hospitality. So restaurants,
Yep.
takeaways,
Yep.
cafe stalls, coffee shops. You know, anything that you sell food or drink.
Yeah.
That's where it goes.
That's his speciality.
I found it.
You found it. Here we go.
Yuze is a boy's name of Chinese origin. It translates to rain and friend, a perfectly chewy combination to brighten a dull day.
Ah,
That's incredibly good. I actually think that's brilliant.
I like that.
I really think that's nice.
Yeah.
I always thought he got it from the Goonies film. Hey, Yuze guys. No, sorry.
Terrible. Too old, Andy. I don't know what you're on about. Classic. If you haven't seen the Goonies, have you seen the Goonies? That's your homework.
Yeah, that's your homework. That's your weekend homework. Watch the Goonies.
Watch the Goonies.
Yeah.
Right. So anything in hospitality. I mean, what strikes me if people are listening, go and have a look because actually, sleek is a word that springs to my mind. Is that an accurate thing that you'd want people to think? Sleek.
Sleek, yes. Easy to use.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy to use.
Easy
Hey,
to
I
use.
tell you what, he's
on
making
brand.
his own marketing up as he goes.
I know. He's on brand.
He's on brand. If only you knew a marketing. Oh wait,
Hi. I
don't
know a
what
guy.
it
So obviously you're saying hospitality, cloud-based system, and this, that, and the other. But what's the nuts and bolts? What do the end users see? As in the restaurants.
The restaurants they get this this app that
Yep.
essentially takes orders and they can get orders through it. But the beauty of it is as well is that it's all integrated into one app. And when I mean that, I mean the payments are integrated as well.
Oh wow.
So with traditional POS, they would just take payment. They would just take orders.
Yep.
Give discounts and all that jazz. But with this system, it also does payments as well.
So instead of using an alternate provider for your back of house system
Yeah.
and a separate thing to run your payments, this is all in
Yeah.
one. That's the
Yeah.
advantage.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Do you know where it's used?
No,
A
I do
certain
not.
company.
Yeah, I do. I do know. I do. No, I don't know where it is used.
Ah, yes, you see. So I first encountered it in Bubbles,
Yes.
the lovely Indian restaurant in Darlington, and it is. I've used the app. It's so nice. Literally, the waiter comes over to you, or the waitress, and they just say, right, not a problem. Here's the tablet, and you get this lovely black tablet in a lovely metal frame, particularly to Babbles, and you just go, all right, okay, click, 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 and somebody delivers the drinks.
Click,
and
click, click,
delivers-
click, 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 click.
Absolutely. Or in my case, I just hold the button. Yeah, but honestly, it's a breeze to use.
Right, well, we need to stop that now. all one listener have turned off.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark. Say hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Ooh.
I like it.
Okay, so yeah, I think the key thing is sleek. There's devices as well, isn't there?
Yes.
So
we've
what?
got a lot
You've got
of
loads of
hardware
devices.
options.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So go through the hardware, and then we're going to try and I want to understand what's under the bonnet. Well, not the IP, but just new challenges.
No,
I couldn't do
Mark,
this.
Mark was last week under the bonnet.
Yeah, exactly. Well, under the tech bonnet.
Thank you.
I'm good for a little plastic card bringing up your face, and
Yes.
then you go, ooh, because that's the level we're on at
Yeah,
times.
definitely.
But yeah,
definitely.
so hardware. What do you do there then?
Hardware. So we use this custom company called Sumni, and they're a Chinese company, but they essentially create hardware specifically for hospitality, and they're this really cool company. But they essentially do all of our hardware, just to keep everything consistent and everything like that. But yeah, this company, Sumni, they do big POS terminals. So if you want your standard screen with your standard till screen and with a second screen on the back, they do that.
They can see that. Yeah.
And they also do the card machines as well. So it's called Smart POS, where you essentially, it gives you that capability of the NFC payments and the contactless payments and all that. And, you can run your own Android apps on it as well. So that's all licensed to do like payments and stuff like that. So basically, we just put our software on there. It's got its own MDM, its own Android management system. So basically, we can control everything on it.
Yeah, but that's important though, because obviously these tablets, they are being used in a public place, and you know, not that we want to condone anything, but you know, if one was stolen, you've got the ability to lock it down. You can track it, and obviously in terms of the staff as well, bless them. That, you know, let them only do what they want them to do.
Yes, lock them. Yeah, we lock them into just the app,
Yes,
so they kind of
absolutely.
really delve in and edit all the, you know, even the Wi-Fi networks
No,
and
you
stuff
don't
like
want
that.
that at all.
Yeah,
No.
we've had a few occasions where they're like, "Oh, what, the app doesn't work on this device," and I'm like, "Oh, wait."
Well, they
It's-
downloaded
it's-
a well-known game where you fly birds through the air. Or something.
Absolutely, Flappy Bird.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh,
What you
there's
doing,
no
sales?"
internet connection." Yes. But,
No, that's really
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So it's positive. So where did, well, we've already spoken, but let the listeners know, where was it born? What was the first thing? It was obviously during that COVID time.
It was, yes.
But, you know, you were just sat there playing games or doing something and you just had an idea. You know, tell the listeners how it evolved.
It was out of a frustration, really. I think I've worked in hospitality pretty much since I was like 16 or whatever. And there's a lot of POS software out there that's really, really bad, like really bad. And all these small businesses have it because it's so cheap, it's so
Yes.
affordable. But to use it as a member of staff, it's like, it was so hard.
Right.
And you had to have like a full-on training session just to take an order or just to take a payment. And I could never understand this. And then I moved to Babbles, and they got their own EPOS and stuff like that. And I realised if they had the same situation where they just bought a cheap POS because they knew they needed a POS, or they knew they needed something to take orders from, because they knew the technical benefit from it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And you know the efficiency and stuff like that you get from like handwriting orders and stuff like that, which weirdly a lot of businesses still do.
Yeah.
I was never any good at that. No one could read it.
No, yeah.
Somebody wants a What's this, Adam?
Fish and chips.
Oh, of course. It's fish and chips. Sorry, Adam.
But yeah, I never understood that. And with Bubbles, when I started working with them, they again they got this system that was cheap, but it was really bad. And when I started to look at like a replacement, because it got to a point where it just didn't work for us. It got to a point where every time you logged into the app, you'd have to log in through the back office, then put your PIN in, and then it took you about 10 minutes to like just get on the app. So yeah, trying to find alternatives. The only decent alternatives are really expensive.
Yeah.
So expensive. And you could end up paying 10 grand for a system.
Wow.
Just for a POS system. And it's like,
And that's before you've taken any payments.
Yeah.
that's before, yeah.
And
that is
percentage
before
of
you've
it.
you got to do
taken
that
any
before you've
payments.
taken any payments.
Yeah.
So you thought.
Yes, I thought, let's create something that is, for the user experience, so simple, where you don't need any training whatsoever. Anyone could pick up that,
What, even Adam?
even Adam.
Even Adam.
Wow.
And it's,
Yeah.
Wow.
It's no longer for good. It's fish and
Fish and
chips.
chips.
even Adam could take the payment. And
we go.
it'd
He's
still
having a
go
go
to the
on him.
kitchen, and
Yeah.
the chef would not go wild.
Yeah.
No pans flying across the room at me.
No, none
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
So yeah, that was it. But also to be as affordable as possible as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because that's obviously the main thing. The reason why people sadly choose these EPOS systems is because they are affordable, but you don't get all of that extra love and attention that I know that you've put into the system.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you sat down one day, and thought, I'm going to write one.
Yes.
As you do, Adam.
Yeah,
As
well,
you do.
this is the thing for me, because when I first came across this, obviously introduced through Andy, I was like, I didn't realise you could do this. Like it kind of felt unreachable.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Absolutely makes
because
sense.
there are huge companies out there doing these things, and I was like, I just don't know. I just didn't realise there'd be a local business option. You're based in Darlington, for example, where you're going, here's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, okay. I didn't know a lot. You know, you don't know what you don't know. I thought it was just an area where, like, how do you even start?
Yeah.
So how did you start?
Yeah, exactly.
Like what?
I don't actually know.
Yeah. Well, so you've gone. This experience is rubbish. Here's what I want to do in terms of affordability and everything else. But what like, where do you begin? Obviously, programming is a huge part of this, I imagine. So
yes.
give us an insight. Do you remember day one where you're like, right, I'm going to build it?
Day one was more of a learning thing, I think.
Okay.
I didn't just go straight in and build it,
Yeah.
but throughout school and stuff like that, I was a mad programmer, so that's where that came from. I didn't just think one day, right, I'm just going to learn programming. I think even when I started, I think 3 years ago now, when I started to program this app, I was like, I have no clue what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's me and Adam every day.
Yeah, pretty much. In many ways.
In many ways. No idea what I'm doing.
So I hadn't a clue what I was doing, but I did my degree in marketing as well.
Yeah.
So I knew with those two things, I'd have a little bit advantage to some of the competitors. that
I
I've
think you've
seen.
been unfair to yourself. Little advantage. You've obviously worked in the hospitality, so
Yes.
and behind the scenes. So
Yes.
you were that perfect middle person to think, well, hang on a minute. I know what's happening in the back end, but I also know that the frustration of using the front end. So to be honest, I think you're doing yourself a massive disfavour. You sat in the middle and went, I know exactly how to program this now. You didn't know exactly how to program it, but you knew what you wanted to program.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Carry on, sir.
Yeah. I don't know how to after that. Geez.
Well, I think it's great.
Yeah,
I just
absolutely.
can't imagine you sitting there and then going, right, I'm going to build. I'm going to just build it. And I agree. Like when I set up my business, I was like, I'm going to do a marketing media business. I know that photography and videography is going to be a huge part of it. But I can't just go out and buy £8,000 worth of cameras to start with.
Yeah.
So I have to do X, Y, and Z to build up over. Like I didn't know. And I was like, I even can't shoot in manual when I set up.
No.
I could not. And people were going, why are you doing that? You don't take photos and you don't make videos. And I went, but I've always had an interest in it, and I know I can. I know I can lend myself to the technology to learn that.
Yeah.
So I knew that I had to learn. So that's the first step, isn't it?
Yeah.
Knowing what you need to know.
Yeah.
So, what was the iterations? You know, you obviously started somewhere. Was it the back end? Was it the front end? Was it which is the most important? Do you believe? I mean, they're both equally important, but which one did you start with?
So I mainly looked at the front end and mainly the kind of the user experience of it.
Yeah, so front end, just for people, that is like the side the staff would see that they're tapping.
Yeah, kind of everything that builds it all together, all the styling, the logos, all that's front end. You know,
how it looks, how it feels,
buttons.
how it works.
Yeah, that's all the fancy, all the fancy colourful stuff.
This is the marketing brain here. Isn't it? We've got two brains. We've got the programming brain,
But then
and
the marketing brain.
It's a good combination.
It's a very good combination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I knew there was a lot of back end systems out there that that are quite easy to tap into. So I kind of thought if I used one of them, I could really focus on the front end and kind of more of the user experience of it, because I think that's what you use every day. That's the
Well, it's very interesting what you're saying there, because Adam constantly says about resilient, we are in the walls. So when people are doing their day-to-day stuff, they don't actually see me. They don't actually see resilient. But I'm agreeing with what you're saying. The fact that we provide such a working experience, they don't realise it. You're the same. You want the front end staff just to go, oh God, this is so easy to use. Yeah. So obviously that's what you started with.
Yeah. So in end of lockdown, did a basic MVP. Minimal viable product.
I was going to say.
Yeah. Whoa.
Most valuable player.
Thank you.
That's what I know MVP. So what? What is it?
Minimal viable product.
I like that. So like a proof of concept.
Proof of
is
concept.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It started a very, very basic version of the POS software, and we did a website for Babbles, and we trialed it with they had a service during lockdown where you could get takeaway cocktails.
Oh, nice. Wish I'd have known of that.
Tap, 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 tap.
So yeah, they had a service in Darlow and I think in Barney as well, where they did takeaway cocktails, and huge success. It's brilliant. It's kind of why they decided to eventually end up in Darlington.
Yeah.
That was one of the main factors.
Nice.
But yeah, the whole ordering process was done through the website, through the online ordering app. So those two things combined were pretty much the start of
And that was your
Yuze.
MVP.
Yeah.
That was our
That's the
MVP.
MVP.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even it was actually operating.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like a proof of concept, but it's actually
It was
because normally proof of concept is
Yeah.
go through, test it. You actually went straight in and applied it to. Obviously,
Yeah,
you'd done
pretty-
testing beforehand.
Yeah. Well, I
Did
thought,
you?
Do you know what?
Nah.
Just it's in. There we go.
Version
It's
1,
in.
crack
Yeah.
on.
The testing I did
Yeah.
was I thought was a lot. It wasn't
Yeah.
a lot.
But this
Honestly-
is this the learning?
It was a massive learning curve when it. So yeah, I think it was. I think within 4 months or something like that, I'd had it from nothing to starting taking payments with real customers.
That's incredible. That.
Yeah,
It is, isn't it?
That is. That.
He is on version 2723.1.
yeah, I think it is. You know,
But that's great as well, because obviously as you grew, as Babbles grew, they must have been phenomenal input for you as a real
Oh, yeah.
live customer going, can we do this, can we do this, can we do this, can we do this?
yeah. They've been really supportive throughout the whole thing.
Oh, great on
And
them.
it's been, I mean, for them, I think it's been very frustrating at times when it's, 7 o'clock busy shift and something goes down or something like that. Luckily, that does not happen anymore. But, there's been times like that, and they've rang me about 20 times, like, oh, it's not working. But yeah, we don't have that anymore. But they're so. They know the end goal with it.
Yeah, exactly.
And all they care about is the user experience for them as well, for the customer experience. They want their customer experience to be the best it can be, but also the most efficient it can be. Hence why they've got the table side ordering tablets where they can order, their own drinks and take orders from, but like also view the bill and stuff like that.
Josh has just cut off because Andy's smiling at the camera again. This is Alina resetting the camera, by the way. So you might have noticed some flashing going on if you watch. Not flashing, but photographic flashing. Been dabbling in a bit of film photography, and that was what that noise was in the background. Because you can't wind it on quietly, as I learned. So if you heard that noise, it was film photography going on in the background.
Very
So we're documenting.
No?
Yeah, I think the thing that strikes me with Bubbles, I know I first went to Bubbles in Barnard Castle because that was the first restaurant.
Yeah, the OG.
Yeah, the OG. The OG. That's the second time today I've seen that phrase. I see it a lot, I know it, but I've seen it twice already today, and it's 9 o'clock? Yeah, 9 o'clock Friday morning. So yeah, I went there. What struck me is and I suppose it's very closely aligned with yourself in terms of design, because the environment that they create, I'll put it this way, they've invested heavily in making sure that customer environment, that experience, the restaurant you sat in is nice.
Yeah.
It is
Really nice.
really well done.
Yeah.
Really well done. So I can see you going in there going, yep, this is for me.
Yeah. The meticulous attention to detail is unreal.
It is.
And
Really.
they literally think about every aspect of the customer journey. Whether you go in at 10 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock at night, they've thought about literally everything. They haven't just opened up and thought, we'll just make a restaurant and a bar.
Yeah.
We'll just really focus on the food. They've really focused on literally every aspect of it. And it's so cool. It's been so cool as well to watch them grow from just a little restaurant into Barnard Castle, and then to expand the way that they have has been so cool. And it's been really, really cool that I've been able to help them on that journey as well, with Yuze and with the technology that we've done. And they can see it as well with the technology, with the hardware that they've got. They're like, we get so much more. Our head spends so much more because of the tablet, or we can fit more customers on a Saturday because the time taken to pay a bill has been reduced from 15 minutes, 20 minutes to 5 minutes.
Without the feeling of being rushed out the door.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. Because again, that customer experience is important. But you're right.
Yeah.
In terms of, whilst the customer experience is also important, it's about making sure that your business is running efficiently.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I also think that having that whole tablet there, Josh, and even when I've been eating at Babbles, you're having a meal, you're doing whatever, you're like, I just need another drink. You're not literally looking around for where the waiter is and like trying to catch their attention. You literally just tap.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the whole point of that tablet, was so you could still get service without someone trying to like, where's it? Like, there's no staff here.
Yeah.
But if you look at it on the other hand, you get annoyed when a waiter comes up to you every 20 minutes, like, how's your food? Do you want any drinks?
It's always when I put a mouthful of steak in my mouth. I did it the other week. Is everything okay with your food? Yeah. It's every time I do that.
Yeah. So it's to minimize that, but it also means you can browse the menu like freely. It gives you so much more information than a normal menu does. But it's those little things that they've thought of that, they've kind of obviously I've always wanted to do something similar with the tableside ordering. But it's their little things that have really helped elevate, the user experience.
And obviously that must help feed back to you to sort of like go, right, well, what can I now do for this? What can I now do for that? Allowing you to and your products to grow. So that's really important. You've got a real live customer, and obviously said they've been very, very good to you and really helping you focus on that user experience. Yeah. I think it's great. I honestly love it when I first saw it.
So my question is, going back to Andy's, what version are you on? How many iterations have you had to do? What was that journey? Because when did you launch this? 2021, 2020?
2021, I think, was like when we first started taking.
So what has been your learning, I think, is a good thing to look at. But that's the thing. When it all works, people see it and go, oh, well, great, it works. But it's actually those lessons. I mean, what sort of lessons have you had to learn?
Don't put an update out on a Friday. I think.
Yeah, but Andy, when do you do your migrations or updates or whatever you're doing?
Now, oddly, so we do all our patching on a Thursday night. Because that means we've got Friday, and if it ever runs into the weekend. But for my customers, if I migrate them to 365, I actually do them on a Friday. Because again, it allows me to roll into the weekend if ever I have a problem.
Yeah.
But you talk about learning. So Patch Tuesday, which is great because that's when Microsoft releases their patches.
Yeah.
You immediately apply them on a Tuesday, and then you kill the customer on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
At least
you don't actually kill the customer for the record.
Kill working.
Oh, that's what I've been doing.
No, that's where you're going wrong, guys. But actually doing it on that, it's midweek for them. It was just a nightmare. So I was like, no. Friday was even worse because obviously you patched them on the Friday night. Nobody came in till Monday, and then the phones lit up.
Yeah.
So painful experience. But we all decided Thursday, it's the back end of the week. Friday, not too much of an issue now, And if there is a major problem, because let's face it, Microsoft occasionally release some patches that break stuff, but you've then got the weekend to at least recover. Not that I want to work every weekend with Microsoft, but it is that whole phrase. But obviously for you, don't release anything on a Friday because Saturday is my busiest day.
Yes, Friday, Saturdays are my busiest.
So I'm hearing you had one hell of a weekend at some point.
I've had a
few.
More
That's okay. It's all part of the process, isn't
Absolutely.
it? It's part of the process. So So what did you go for? Which day? Monday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Monday, kind of the weekend or Monday to test, and then Tuesday to bring out. It depends, obviously, if the testing works and all that, but mainly a Tuesday, so you've got the whole week to kind of see if there are any problems or not, and then the weekend.
I think that's the thing. There's so many different ways people use systems and devices. You can test it till the cows come home.
Yeah.
Until it's in the real environment. Yeah. You never fully know what to expect.
No, because we've learned this with our software and our rollouts. Like, how on earth did you break that? Well, I did this, and What? How would you ever think of that in testing? There's no way.
I used to work on the Mode Shift Star scheme.
You
Talked about
did?
Mode Shift. Nick popped in last week. And
I've got a new nickname for Nick.
Have you?
I called him Hobbly Wobbly Nick.
That's because he's torn his Achilles, the poor lad.
Bless him.
He's just bullying him now.
I had a meeting with him yesterday. It was like, hi, Tracy, how are you doing? Yeah, very well. Hi, Sarah. And how's Wobbly Hobbly Nick?
Wobbly and hobbly.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they had a system that him and James were developing at the time, working with developers and doing it.
Yeah.
And then the last test, they would do all the testing they could, and then I would have just stayed out the developments because I'm doing the marketing side of things. And then they'd go, right, Adam, try and break it. So I'd literally go in.
30 seconds later.
In one case, it did. Because it was like I was trying to deliberately go in and put the wrong things in the wrong boxes in terms of, what can we do here? Like the data validation, this, that, and the other. One time I did break it.
Yeah.
But it was like, what can we break? Because you got to go through that process, surely.
Yeah.
Do you do that sort of process?
All the
How
time,
can I break?
How can I break? Yeah.
How can I break this? Is
it?
the question. And if you can't break it, you're in a good place. Is that correct?
Well, sometimes if I can't break it, I get a bit worried. I'm
Definitely.
Like, there's always something wrong.
Yeah.
But also, it's important to understand that from, because, nowhere near as good a programmer as Josh, but I program as well in terms of some of my automation that I do. And when you do give it to the end customer and they do end up breaking it, I'm definitely going, right, how? And what it always tends to boil down to is that they've interpreted my prompts in a different way that I thought.
Yeah.
And that's what you must get in terms of how did you break that? Well, I thought by clicking on that and choosing that option and then tapping that, right, okay, you were never meant to do that, but I'm pleased and I now understand why you think that. And I would probably say out of all of my programming that I do, 20% of it is actually code. 80% of it is like trying to work out the fixes.
Yeah.
If somebody, no, you can't do that. Oops, sorry, you can't do that.
It's literally 20% coding, 80% bug fixing, or just like user experience fixing, because that does happen.
Yeah.
And that's why you have to give it to other people and test it and use it in the real world, because it always gets interpreted so differently.
Absolutely.
And that's why I've had so many iterations of the software, because something that I think is really easy, and I think that I know how to do it pretty well, how to solve a certain situation or a certain problem pretty well. But yeah, when you put it out in the real world and you give it to someone,
and you give it to Adam 30 seconds later, hi, Mr. Adam Breaker.
Yeah, I'm having fish and chips with a side of soup.
Yeah,
soup gravy.
2 soups.
and you end up giving it to the wrong table.
That's all of that. That's gone into.
Yeah.
So within the app itself, and I don't wish to break it down to its most simplest form, but it is buy. You're tapping a food, you're tapping a drink, and then you're basically paying. What are the things that you, Babel, any of your other customers, has it evolved in any other ways, like the menu option or the food, the vegan, the dairy free? Is there anything that is really nice about the app that even you didn't think of? Good question.
Thank you. Really pick him up right now.
He's having a thing.
Absolutely. I thought of that this morning. I was like, I know how to fix Josh.
I think you just broke him.
Oh yeah.
It's too early in the morning to think of really complex answers to these. I think the one thing I really didn't think about when we started doing the app was payments, and how that could be so much more simplified than it was. So when I started programming the app, I didn't care, but I didn't think about integrating card payments within the same software as you take orders from, because one, it's such a complex thing to take payments. To take a payment is so complex. There's so many people involved. You've got the bank, you've got the card processing, you've got Visa and MasterCard, and then you've got the actual people that communicate to them people as well.
I can't even begin to imagine.
Yeah. Even now, I'm still like, how does this work?
Well, it's because it's vast, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is vast.
It's so vast and complex, and I just thought that to integrate, what's the point? But then I started to realize kind of they wanted a system. They wanted a card machine that was integrated, but they wanted to use an external provider. And that's when I started looking at card payments and stuff like that. And I realized it's so hard because it's such a long process. With some companies, it'll take you like 2 weeks just to get registered, and then you get the card machine, and you have to pay for rental for a card machine, and then you have to pay
a percentage per transaction. Yeah, it is like that.
And it all adds up, and they're like, why does it cost so much? But when I started integrating these payments, I was like, well, why can it not just do it on the app? Like, why does there need to be a separate device to the POS machine? Or the app, or whatever you use.
Do you know what? Even I never thought about that. And yet you've probably just hit the perfect combination. It's like, why have I got two things?
Yeah.
Why can't it just all be done on the same thing?
Yeah.
That must have been an epiphany moment for you, just going, why can't it be on the same device?
Yeah. It was an epiphany moment, but it was like, how am I going to do this?
But that's not important, because when you think about it, and I think it is the least thing that you think about when you're visiting a restaurant. You're enjoying the food, the atmosphere, that literally you go up to the till, don't you, and just go tap. You don't think about it. You don't think that you've got to have the EPOS machine, the NFC card, funnily enough. Great how you link that, man.
Thank you.
That you don't, and then it literally, it's getting to the internet, going to your bank. Have you got enough money? Never in my case. But then it's registering. Then it comes
Ironically.
back. Yeah. Then it comes back, and then it says it's paid. But you do not think about it. You just tap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Just to take a payment, the amount of things behind taking a payment is crazy. Even the NFC, thing in your phone.
Yeah.
Or on
RFID.
a card. Yeah.
There we go. I've been learning. This is my learning this week. I always try and learn something each week. NFC, RFID. Partly because we're obviously you.
I did a bit of research, didn't
Did a bit of research, but then I was like, actually, there's other applications that I can do in marketing.
Yeah. There's actually a really good series with the professor Hannah Fry,
Right.
and she does like basic things about like card payments, and how that works, and she goes really in depth on how these work, and you just, it's like an hour long, but it's like
Really good. So you just sat there literally reading, absorbing all of this information, and then you managed to put it all into one single app.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the key thing though is, your programming is extensive in terms of your knowledge. You might not feel it, but it is.
Yeah.
You always are learning. I get that. Yeah. And equally, you're trying to build something from the ground up, and then you're trying to integrate these card payment systems and all of this. So it's not that you don't know. It's just you need to learn the method. To then structure the coding. Is that right?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah. So you need to know what hoops you need to jump through.
Yeah.
And therefore, you've got your outcomes in terms of what you need to code. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure?
Pretty much, yeah.
In a very dumbed down way.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting. That really is. What I'd like to pick up on is, and tell our one listener out there, how we met. So we were at the Darlington Hippodrome doing a business event.
Not a show.
Not a show, no. It was a business event. It was done by the lovely people over there, and we had a lovely tour. And me and Josh just got talking. So, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? And I mentioned that I do networks and things like that, and he went, I might need you. And I went, I'm in the walls.
I'm in the wall.
I'm in the walls. So really, and we're going to touch on this subject shortly, the key thing that me and Josh found, apart from our great love of programming and things like that, is that whilst Josh was exceptionally good in terms of the programming on the EPOS system, the infrastructure, the network, sadly was letting you down. I think that's a fair thing to say. Yeah. He mentioned that he was using Ubiquity, and I was like, ooh, I know Ubiquity.
Yeah.
And then, it basically the friendship and the business relationship blossomed from there. And God bless him, you'd done what I would class as best intentions with the network.
Yeah.
But you were finding that, I think it's fair to say, Babels were finding your EPOS system, if I call it that, was not working.
Yeah.
And that was untrue. It was actually the infrastructure, the backbone of the network was failing. And that was down to numerous things. Nobody was at fault. It was just that Josh had done his homework and thought Ubiquity, probably the best cost-effective solution to put out there. Smacked a couple of access points in the roof. Not bad at all. But what was happening in technical terms is a lot of the access points were fighting with each other. Because again, by default, and you'll know this, Adam, for doing it at home, naturally, your access points will try and do everything that they possibly can to help. Problem is, they're in the middle of Darlington in a very nice space, Babbles, fighting with all of the other Wi-Fis that everybody's got. The Ubiquity was constantly channel hopping to try and give the best signal. Right. So basically, Josh said, please help. In that voice as well, it was, please help. So we agreed to go down. We did a little bit of a survey, found a number of things that we thought we could help with, put it forward to the beautiful people of Babbles, and I went, yeah, okay. So we ended up putting a new router in there, a new switch. We reconfigured all of the access points and the Wi-Fi and the channels, and I'd like to say it was a huge success for you.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So from having, and again, I want to use these words, Josh, but I don't mean it. From having a frustrated Babbles, because they were feeling.
Well, I think air quotes. Your system isn't working,
which
is not the case.
It's not the case.
Yeah. It wasn't the case, but on a Saturday night when at like 8 o'clock when they've got a full restaurant and it's really busy and it goes down. They do that. That's the first thing that they touch, and that's the first thing they realise that either the internet's gone down or something's not printing. They instantly just blamed.
Well, of course they would do,
which is understandable.
Yeah, and it's frustrating because, as you say, you do so much testing on network, to do with networks and just literally everything. And when it doesn't work on a Saturday busy shift, when that's the peak time where it should work and should be, the time when they need it the most, it doesn't work.
No.
And
so that was like
frustrated.
a test that you were like, did you then have to go and look into the app to see if it was your software?
Yeah.
Were you looking there? So you're effectively looking in the wrong place, no disrespect.
Yeah.
So there's obviously a massive lesson learned in that one. Yeah. So how have you combated that since? Like in terms of networking and stuff like that? What are you going, what internet have you got? What routers,
so with if they've only got one device, if it's like a food vendor that's got a van and the only thing that they've got is the card machine, then I just say
it's never an issue, is it?
It's never an issue, and I just give them a SIM card and it just runs off a SIM card because it uses barely any data. So what's the point? What's the point of having like a
big portable Wi-Fi network going around in the van?
Yeah. But with a restaurant like Babbles, now I go, do you have the infrastructure for it? Because there's so many. What if you have on a basic network? If you have 5 or 10 devices, it's gonna work fine. But if you're somewhere like Babbles, who have got a tablet on every table, every waiter or waitress has their own they have their own card machine. Then all the customers have got phones. They want to connect to the Wi-Fi. But also the staff have phones. They want to connect to the Wi-Fi.
Spotify with music in the background connecting. So when we went in there, it was just a big, garbled mess. And God bless the system, it was working well during non-busy times.
Yeah.
But the Saturdays and the Fridays,
it was just that loading.
It was just that loading. So we came in, we did a lot of the thing, and as bless Joss has said, I don't think you get calls anymore. It literally just works. Yeah. And I knew that was the key for me. I'm like, no, you've done the right thing. You've just got to tune it now. And myself and Dan went in there, enjoyed some fabulous food.
Funny
as you do.
I'll work with him. You didn't even want him to work with him.
Actually, that was the other way around. He wasn't, please help me. I'm like, please let me eat in your restaurant. But we went in there, we did everything, really upgraded their security as well in terms of everything was on a simple flat network. We VLAN'd it all, so the staff all now have their own stuff. There's a beautiful guest Wi-Fi option.
I bet there is.
I bet there is. Just like yours at home.
Do you want to? So my internet is terrible.
Honestly, Josh, this is hilarious.
You said I've got some experience with Ubiquity. Well, I've set up. I was having issues at home with. We've got very, very terrible internet. Very terrible internet. When I say terrible internet, like download speed 2 meg. Yeah, I know, right? And this in my
He's a
previous
media company.
in my previous house, I had fibre.
Yeah.
And I essentially moved to Steam powered internet, right? So it's been, challenging. Anyway, I've put Ubiquity in because I do work from home. I do things and stuff. And all right, files and uploads and downloads are problematic. We'll leave that. But Wi-Fi calling is a basic example. So I'd have a client ring me. The phone would drop out. It'd disconnect. I'd be next to the router. It was doing it. It was horrible. Anyway, so I got Ubiquity, installed it all up, created VLAN so I could put work machines on other things and family on other devices, and then a guest network for other people. I have a terms and conditions, a landing page, and I did it as a laugh to test it. I was testing it, and then I forgot to turn it off. So now when you connect to our guest network, it says, please enjoy our terribly slow internet.
And his dad's like, why do I have to tick a box to use your...
And I'm like, because you need to accept the terms and conditions.
It's a really bad internet.
It's terrible.
It's really
I
bad.
am looking at Starlink.
Yeah, exactly.
Starlink looks sick.
Yeah, it does, doesn't
it's
it?
Really
ridiculous.
good.
I've got
So-
3 customers using it already.
It's become to the point where, like, the network is awesome. The
Yeah.
network is sorted. I've got access point up in the house. I've got awesome coverage from the router. Just with another access point in there, we're sorted. It's so good. I could take a phone call, like mobile phone call is almost the measure I've used because Wi-Fi calling was that bad.
Yeah.
I can now take a call anywhere in the house or the garden.
Yeah.
And it's rock solid, doesn't cut out.
Yeah.
To the point I was actually speaking to my mother at home. And
Hi, Jill.
Hi, Jill. She works at HubSpoke as well. But her phone was cutting out. And I'm like, please buy this router and these access points. Because I'm like, this would sort this out because it was just constantly dropping and dipping. It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
So that immediately fixed that. I just need to fix the slow internet. But yeah, there's a guest.
Terms and conditions.
My house has a guest Wi-Fi with terms and conditions that you have to accept.
Please accept this terrible
Yeah.
internet.
And there's a landing page, there's a photograph, that's just for my house.
But I think what was interesting for me is that certainly the guest Wi-Fi page for Babbles, obviously, with Josh's marketing background, again, we helped design that together, and he's like, no, do this. But in terms of if we look as a team, me and Josh now look as a team towards Babbles, they've got one hell of an infrastructure in terms of the network. They've got Josh's system just like fabulously working. Even the patrons are tapping away to do that when they're logging on to the guest Wi-Fi. There's a terms and conditions, and I've VLAN'd it all off and quality of service and all of that. But for the experience, Josh can now sleep at night.
Exactly. And that's what it's all about.
Definitely.
I think what was I going to say? We got quite heavy into Wi-Fi networks. We held off doing networks too heavily, but we're like, we need to talk about it because it is a bit geeky. It sounds very geeky as soon as you get into 192.168.0.0.1, whatever you're doing. Like we get that, and we warned everybody going, this is going to be geeky, but there is a live example of why a business should have these robust networks in place, not just from protecting people's data and isolating each person on the Wi-Fi in terms of guest Wi-Fi, but also, like I said, devices and loading.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's definitely, like, you have to think of the cost of it potentially going down, right? So for Babbles, Babbles, for Babbles, if their system went down on 6 o'clock on Saturday and it's down for an hour, that's a whole hour.
And that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
2-3 grand. And that's just on one day.
Absolutely, within an hour. Absolutely.
What about if it happens every weekend? Which
it was.
It
was.
So the investment that you put into a robust network is nothing in comparison to what you're going to lose.
The problem is it's so unattractive because it just works.
Yeah.
Like if you've got it in place,
and in the walls.
Yeah, it just works though, doesn't it? That's the point.
It does, Adam. But
you
I
don't
think
see anything for it other than it doesn't break.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
and
is
I
a
think,
bit weird.
But it is important. Obviously, I had the long chat with Josh in terms of what we could do to help. We put forward the costs. I think it's fair to say, it wasn't a small amount.
It wasn't a small amount, but
I think it's like anything. Caveated it like hell. Going, look, all I'll do is I'll not walk away from you. We will put something in place. It may not work first time, but then we'll come back. We'll come back at the busiest times. You need to tweak us. You need to do this, do this. Luckily, Dan...
We'll come back at the busiest time.
Exactly. Luckily,
What
Dan,
did you eat?
Dan, my son, is an absolute whiz with these Wi-Fis. He knows the black art of
Yeah.
it all. It's his passion. And we did do it, touch wood first time. But I think it was important. And I remember sitting down with Josh and Babbles, and I'm like, look, it's a lot of money. All I can tell you is that I'm going to make it work for you. Trust me on this one. And obviously I left them. Josh obviously had then a word within it. And, Josh has said to me openly, they were a bit sort of like, but if it works, it'll pay for itself within months. Yeah. And it has.
And it solved your headache.
It has. It is
I
has.
can rest in peace now.
To be honest, that's when me and Josh started thinking, actually, do you know what? This could be a really good benefit. And I'd like to touch on that. We obviously, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, Josh, we talked about an episode where we had trusted partners. And, thankfully, you call me that now in terms of the IT side of things. And then you started talking to me about your social media. You've got a background in marketing. You do it all yourself. You can do it all yourself. You weren't doing it purely because you were so busy.
Yes.
And that's when I introduced you to Adam.
Yes.
And I think that triangle that we've got now is a great working relationship.
Everyone's got their focus.
Yeah.
I think that's incredibly important to have in whether it's a job role for an individual or whether it's like small business, individual sole traders, or whether it's big companies. I think, looking at the battles that you fight, and the whole thing we talked about is finding allies. We talked about networking, how people can often come up to you and go, here's my business card, before they've introduced themselves. Do you want to buy what I'm selling? It's not like that, is it, sort of thing?
No.
And actually...
Buy teams.
Yeah. So, it's so not that. And equally, it's like, how can we help yourselves reach that? So my next question is, that's like the origin story. That's like the learning. That's like in the trenches, bringing it all out. You're now obviously going for it. I mean, give us an idea. How far and wide are you working at the moment?
What do you mean?
Well, you're working nationally, really, aren't you?
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. We have customers all across the UK now.
Yeah.
From Brighton to Derby to Liverpool. We've got some potential customers in Sheffield.
Wow.
So yeah, it's nationwide. Yeah.
No, absolutely. But
with the plan to maybe go continental, maybe go into
Whoa.
Europe. Yes, we're kind of gearing
If
ourselves.
you need some
up for that.
photos taking in Spain, I know a guy.
Me.
Yeah. But no, so obviously that was like humble beginnings, so to speak, development concept, and now you're delivering this nation. I mean, that's incredible.
yeah,
Really
really
is
good, really
outstanding.
good. Absolutely.
Thank you.
So, in terms of, a bit croaky.
I haven't had my tea.
Have you?
Oh,
No,
it's
it's been
pretty
sat
tea,
there.
You
So I
have,
think
you have to pay for that through an EPOS system for it.
Yeah, you did. I think in terms of then, future ambition sort of thing, what your hopes, dreams, aspirations?
He hasn't got any. He's so
broke
young.
I don't think I have any.
You don't have it. He does. That is not true. You have a very clear vision in terms of what it's all about and what you're doing. Obviously, you're in a phase where you're trying to reach more people, more customers.
Yes.
But you're trying to alleviate these problems, surely, for a lot of people and making a streamlined experience.
My kind of dream is just to make business owners' lives so much easier, because it's so hard to run a business, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
It's true.
when you start a business, there's so many things you never think about, right?
No, absolutely.
And so if I can in some way make their lives a lot easier while also improving their customers' experience and stuff like that, that's me done.
That's you. I like that. See, he has.
That's so beautiful.
But he has. It's really good for me when we're talking. I'm like, that is a really, because you touched on that sort of that it was worded slightly differently, but like you're fulfilling a purpose.
Yeah.
You're not saying buy my card machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
You are solving a problem, which I think is incredibly important. You are helping. Big ethos of my company is we're here to help people.
Yeah.
Like, can we help you? Are we adding value? Are we doing that? We need to be helpful. The other criteria we have is, do the people want to be helped? Yeah, I know that sounds like that's just through lessons learned in terms of, we want to do this. I'm like, right, cool. Right, we're going to do this. No. Right, hang on.
Yeah.
We want you to do it exactly like that. I'm like, right, you've come to me for the expertise. Do you see what you kind of get into that? And I think you've got to really pick your customers. I think it's fair to say in terms of, are you, because otherwise the experience is a negative one if it doesn't align. So yeah, I think in terms of ambition, where you're going with it, I think it's fantastic. Yeah. And obviously seeing what it's all about, being based in Darlington as well. I mean, like you say, this is quotes untouchable in terms of, I would not have a clue how to suddenly go, I'm going to create a payments app. No idea. No. I've used Stripe, for example, PayPal, other providers are available, but use. But I couldn't have a slightest idea on how you would begin that journey.
No,
I think it's incredible.
It's been incredible. It really has. And obviously working now with Josh in terms of the networks and the stuff that I can provide, being his IT trusted partner, it's just like a fantastic thing. But to me, it's amazing because I go into Babbles and obviously it's like anything. And you must get this as well, Josh. It's like I'm sat there going, hey, I'm Josh's tablet. I'm using Yuze's app. It's running on my Wi-Fi network. Curry, bye. Drink. But it's a really lovely experience. And, your phrase, I keep going back to, Adam, is lovely. I'm in the walls. Yeah. And effectively, Josh is like on the table. So he's on the table. I'm in the walls.
Where am I?
You're taking photographs.
On the screens.
You're on the
I'm
screens.
On the screens.
But that relationship, all in terms of what Josh summed up beautifully, it's just to make Babbel's life so much easier and the customer's life. Because, let's face it, not often do you go into a place and just think, I wonder what this tablet's doing. I wonder how that it's running. As I said before, tap. You tap the app, you tap your screen, you tap the NFC on the back of it. You're loving the experience, but I don't think at any point, when you've signed up for your guest Wi-Fi, you're not thinking, ooh, I wonder what this is doing and stuff like that. That's where you and me different, because we are thinking about that end user experience. Similarly to yourself, when you're looking at marketing resilient and stuff like that, you're looking at that perception of how the people see resilient. Yep. Whereas Josh is actually going, no, I'll look at it from both sides. I look at it from my customers from both sides, as do you, Adam. But I think it's a really good story, which is why when I introduced him to you, I remember sitting there looking and watching you two interacting on the market, and I went, Josh, come on the podcast, please. Yeah. Because I think that story is just wonderful.
It's fantastic. And I think the key really thing is, I suppose, without being disrespectful, the payment part is such a small part of the user experience, isn't it? In terms, it is.
As I said, tap, done.
But coming back to that trusted partnership, each restaurant, cafe, hotel, any hospitality venue needs that experience to be correct.
Yeah.
Because when it isn't, that's when the issue arises.
Yeah, exactly.
So, people come away going, oh, I really liked how I tapped my card and it emptied my bank account.
I say that every night.
No, they're going to come away and talk about, hopefully, the food, the service, the environment, the experience. Yeah. And it's kind of like you're making it so it's never an issue. Yeah. Is that an accurate sort of close, I suppose, on that?
The stuff I do, it's meant to be invisible to the experience. Yeah. I don't want a customer walking away and being like, oh, it took so long to get the card machine. Oh, why did that payment take 20 minutes to get through? That's the last thing you want.
However, to the staff can be like, this is a very visible experience for me because I've got this interface. I'm supported by the software, the technology, the infrastructure. Yeah. And then the management are equally like, great, we can see everything that's going on. We've got, all the data that we need. I think it's great. I love it. No. Big fan. Right, we always finish on what you're doing this weekend. I will go first if you want.
Go on, go for it.
While Andy coughs his guts up over the chair. You okay?
Yes.
So, this weekend, due to play rugby tomorrow.
Due to play rugby?
Yeah, well, we've had a lot of rain. Do you know you came to the rugby match 2 weeks ago and it was firm? It's not mean.
No.
Yeah.
I went out and emptied the bins this morning, and I stood on one of my paving stones to get some rubbish that had blown into the garden, and I started sinking.
Did you?
I was like, what?
Yeah,
And
the
literally...
subsistence underneath. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah,
It
so there's been.
was,
So I don't know.
massive.
We'll see. Hopefully it goes ahead. But yeah, tomorrow night. Hang on. Do we have a drum roll? We do somewhere. No, we've got.
That's not a drum roll, mate. That's neither's that. No.
Okay.
No. We can raise the house.
That's what I'm doing. I am DJing at Houses of Feeling tomorrow
Thank
night.
you, we need that.
So I'm doing two things, two hats. I'm DJing tomorrow, and I'm also shooting video under my HubSpot hat.
Yeah,
so
lovely.
I'm gonna DJ our set. I think I'm second on.
You said that, yeah, second
Yeah,
on.
and then I'm gonna be shooting promo video. Apparently, there's stilt walkers, fire breathers, and me, and other DJs.
Who will not be firewalking.
Other fantastic DJs. So yeah, I'll be doing that tomorrow.
Excellent.
Night. So,
Sunday, dear, relax.
yeah, chill out.
Chill out.
Chill out
What about
Sunday.
yourself then, Josh?
I think me and my friend for ages were going to like. We said we were going to be like, oh, we're gonna go somewhere and we're just going to camp for the weekend.
Wow, that's
I
good.
think we're going to do that.
Or sink. I'll put the tent in the grass and then lie in the grass. Oh, I'm sinking.
Yeah.
Swamp sleeping. We'll have to find
Anywhere
out how you
nice?
go.
Well, is there anywhere nice when you go camping? Really?
Lake District.
Lake District is beautiful.
We're thinking about wild camping in Scotland. That's
Beautiful.
what our plan
Get
is.
in. That's
if,
a lovely-
if the weather's nice.
If the weather's
Well,
nice.
if the weather's dry, because there's nothing worse than wet weather.
Pick
I don't
your-
care if it's like -5. If it's
Yeah.
dry, it's fine.
I like it.
I like that.
I like
Adventurous.
it.
Adventurous.
Adventurous, yeah. I'm
You-
doing nothing of the sort of that. I will not be glamping, camping,
So what are you doing?
swamping. Get my hair cut tomorrow.
Ooh.
Well, there you go. That's about the highlight.
That's quite good though, because you've been doing a lot of different things on a weekend. So I think, I think that'll do you good.
Have a chill weekend.
Have a
Yeah,
chill.
yeah.
And then we're going around to some lovely friends and we're helping them update their website.
There we go.
So we're getting fedded and fooded.
So you're still doing stuff.
So I'm still drinking. Yeah, exactly.
Still drinking.
No, I didn't say
you're
that.
still doing stuff.
I'm still doing stuff. And then Sunday, just relax.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so there we go.
Well, Josh, thank you so
Thank
much for
you
coming on.
so
Thanks.
much. It's
Thanks
been
for having me.
amazing.
Top.
Appreciate
Or,
it. That one.
that one.
Well done, sir.
Yeah,
Well
yes.
done.
When we first started,
Yeah, quiet now.
It's
Yeah,
long,
sure,
it's
sure.
long, that, too.
it is. It goes on for a while. When we first started doing the sounds, we forgot to turn the fader up, so we're doing it going way, and it was not coming out on the recording.
You had to add it in post.
Yeah,
No, we
we didn't even do that. Just left it raw and unedited.
Obviously,
So,
all the
yeah.
listeners were going, what are they doing?
Yeah.
They're laughing and clapping at something that's not there.
Yeah,
But it's
So,
a
yeah,
learning
but
experience.
absolutely fantastic to have
Yeah,
you on.
really
Great
good.
to see a really interesting business doing this stuff that I thought was
Oh.
untouchable.
Yeah,
In fairness,
definitely.
in Darlington,
No, it's been great. Thank you so much,
the
Josh.
next
and,
Silicon Valley,
yeah, next one.
your
Yes.
office.
Yeah. hey, we'll get that.
Brilliant. Well, enjoy your weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Enjoy your weekend.
Oh, wait a minute. Use
Oh.
HQ on social media if you want to
Yes,
follow
them.
Use and check them out.
Use HQ.
Yeah, that's on the Instagrammables.
Ooh.
Yep. So go over and check them out, and also use.uk if you want to see the website.
Yes, and absolutely.
Worth
Okay.
having a look. Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.